Hello, y'all, and welcome back to my podcast, Game On. I am your host, Molly Bedwell, and I am so honored to have you either here for the first time or have you back again listening. Today, I have some really cool topics of conversation concerning gaming, and I have a very special guest, so I'm doubling down on the coolness this episode. I have my friend Akira from Columbia State Community College.
Hey everyone, my name is Akira. I'm super excited to be talking with y'all today, and thanks for having me here, Mom.
He's a little nervous, but he's slaying it already. We are so lucky to have you, and today we will be talking about some of the psychology behind game design. But first, let's get into introductions. Tell us more about you and tell us about your major.
Oh yeah, well, I'm a student here at Columbia State, and I'm a history major with a focus in sociology. And I'm particularly really fascinated with the human behavior, and I hope one day to run a museum one day.
Oh, that's really neat. I didn't know that. So, like, a historical museum, do you want to be like a tour guide, or do you want to collect artifacts in like a little basement?
Well, I actually, it's kind of the second one, it's the latter. I really enjoy like being able to take a piece of history and like really go over it and find specific details that like we might not have found before, like being able to retell those events and jot them down. It's almost like being a detective, but like for things that have already happened, but at the same time I get to tell people about it and kind of change the way the world sees certain parts of history.
That's amazing, man. Like, if y'all didn't know already, you can tell I am a sociology major. My focus is in CJ, but I'm also absolutely fascinated, by nature with sociology. So that's why me and Nikita get along so well, I'm sure. All right, before we dive in to talking more about the psychology behind game design, here's a word from our sponsors. Introducing HelloFresh, your recipe for delicious, stress-free cooking. Are you tired of taking a break from gaming to go and eat, only to be utterly uninspired with meal ideas and ingredients, and then you end up eating the same thing or letting your groceries go to waste? Well, say goodbye to mealtime stress and hello to a fresh new way of cooking with HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, cooking delicious and nutritious meals has never been easier. Our meal kits are packed with farm-fresh ingredients and chef-curated recipes that are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Whether you are a culinary novice or a seasoned chef, HelloFresh has something for everyone. Here's why HelloFresh is the ultimate solution for busy lifestyles, like gamers. Convenience. Say goodbye to meal planning and grocery shopping. With HelloFresh, everything you need is delivered right to your doorstep, saving you time and hassle. Variety. From classic favorites to new exciting flavors, HelloFresh offers a wide range of recipes to suit every palate. Explore global cuisines, vegetarian options, and family-friendly meals, all with the click of a button. You also get freshness with only the freshest ingredients from trusted suppliers, ensuring to you that every meal is of the highest quality. Flexibility. With flexible subscription options, you control the delivery, skip a week, change your meal preference, or pause subscription anytime. It's really that easy. Sustainability. HelloFresh is committed to reducing food waste and promoting sustainability. Our pre-portioned ingredients help minimize waste with our eco-friendly packaging, which is 100% recyclable. Join the millions of satisfied customers who have discovered the joy of cooking with HelloFresh. Sign up today and take you the first step towards delicious, stress-free meals that your whole family will love. HelloFresh. Fresh ingredients, delicious recipes, delivered to your doorstep. All right, guys, back to the cool stuff. Through careful analysis, we have developed and summarized our research into 4 primary reasons why individuals become so deeply engrossed with video games. And for those who might not remember, after that break, we are talking about the psychology behind game designs. And all of the reasons that we are going to be discussing can be deliberately attributed to the choices made in game design and formatting within the games themselves.
We're also going to totally nerd out and describe how some of our favorite games are examples of these elements. So I'm sure we might get a little bit carried away, but, let's get started.
All right. The first way that I know of, at least, and the first thing that I could just immediately, I thought of was initiative that is given to players. And, this is known as player motivation and reward. So developers leverage principles and motivation and reinforce it into game design, which it's almost like a mousetrap. You are compelled towards these reward systems that encourage you to continue playing the game. So this can include stuff as like achievement points, experience points, loot drops, all of that. Like there's a word for those games that are kind of just like a trap because you have to play it so much. What are they called? Do you remember?
I forget the term.
I can't remember. There's a term for games where you have to pour like hours and hours and hours in time just to get anything. But I know that we gathered all of these games like in each category, and we're going to talk about the games that we think fit into each of these points. So for the first games that focus on motivation and rewards, Akita, what did you come up with?
For me personally, I hugely am a really big fan of Final Fantasy VII. It's an MMORPG platform that offers a bunch of variety of rewards, including experience points and gear and in-game currency. And what's really cool is that sometimes the gear and currency or the experience points have to do with the story as well. For everything from compelling quests to defeating huge bosses and enemies and participating in like some player versus player battles. It's a lot of fun. And the game also features some, really cool crafting and gathering system stuff, providing, a couple additional avenues for players to earn rewards and progress their characters in a way. Another one that I really enjoyed, I played this a lot with my boys back in the day, is Call of Duty Warzone. Players are not only motivated by the competitive multiplayer experience and just the aspect of the game itself, but it rewards such as, experience points, a lot of really cool weapons, which is mainly what it's about. God. But the big thing where it comes in is like cosmetic items and earned kills or objective or match victories. Like that's a huge part of it.
That's where it's at.
Another one that's really cool that's a little bit more recently, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's an action adventure game, so there's like this huge like cool corporation that you have to do with, but it rewards players with more experience points and a lot of really cool gear that helps you traverse more easily as an assassin and slip into the shadows and stuff like that. The game also features a leveling system that allows you to unlock new skills and abilities to progress through the game, like really cool like smoke bomb compared to like a really cool slipper rank tactic when a lot of people are looking at you. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, and another one I really like is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If y'all are like Zelda game players, I think that it's so unique to have an expansive world game like this. Yes, for Zelda, it's so unique. And so you get to solve puzzles. That's rewarding. But you also, the more you play, the more you uncover hidden secrets. Just one that's popping into my head like this too is the new Harry Potter game on PS5. I haven't had the opportunity to play it, but I'm really interested in that. I know you want to talk about some of the sociology too.
Another thing I think is really interesting in the sociology aspect behind gaming is especially those that offer multiplayer opportunities or employ some sort of social feature. For me, it really allows me to connect with the other players or like sometimes test my own mallet or my own skill against them, and like I really like to collaborate, and sometimes our goals, like our common tasks, pair up and we can go do that and like take out the rest of the crew. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and sometimes you're enemies. So like so they're called social features.
Yeah, there's multiple different. There's three major aspects. There's leaderboards, which kind of shows like the top ranked players compared to like the ones that just hopped in. multiplayer modes compared to like story-based driven modes, which some games don't have nowadays, but and guilds, which is a really big one. But this one is mainly where a lot of like the compelling like community of the game comes. It fosters not only a sense of belonging, like you want to be there, but it encourages you to like remain active and like see how you progress over time, and just it cultivates a sense of community, and everyone's so close and tight knit, but it can be super competitive at the same time.
Oh my gosh, yes, exactly. Okay, and not to get excited, but I would say the sociological aspect of gaming is probably one of my favorite parts of gaming. If y'all y'all are just tuning in for the first time, I am a social gamer. I tend to only play with my friends and only with them. Like, I don't know if that's biased or whatever, but I like, even sometimes like I remember like I'll just drop into a random squad at this point. I just don't want to play alone. Like for me, sometimes it's lonely. Like certain projects or whatnot. Like some of the games I'll talk about a little bit. The sheet that I picked, like I could play alone, but only for so long before I'm like, bro, I just wish I was on with my friends right now. I feel I'd rather be like doing something else. But the two games that I picked that I do feel like have a lot of social features, Minecraft. So first, like, obviously multiplayer servers, you can collaborate on building, you can explore custom worlds, you can, PvP battles, like all that. But I think it really just inspires community creativity. You can literally just sit there and create anything with your friends. That's what's cool about Minecraft to me. Fortnite, completely different, bro. You get the in-chat games, multiplayer mode. You can form the squads with your friends, or those trios or those duos, just slaughter, bro. I honestly, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I play Fortnite, and then this new update with all these, like, I almost said Egyptian. It is not Egyptian.
No,
it's Greek mythology. I almost said all these Egyptian gods. No, all these Greek guys. I wish I hopped on at the beginning when this mode started, because now I hopped on the other day. I'm like, why are we flying? Yeah. Can we please go back to normal? Anyway, I'm getting too excited over here. Okay, so shared goals. You can share your goals with your friends. You're trying to win those matches, trying to get the victory royale. There's that as well. Yeah,
I mean, like, even going farther into like the more like community aspects, to kind of go back to Minecraft. Minecraft has a huge modding community, which really bolsters a lot of every experience can be different. There's entire game modes that you can do online called Bed Wars, which is like PvP, or it's like Capture the Flag and stuff like that. There's entire mods where it creates a whole story outline. It's kind of like a blank slate, which also to me is a huge part of the community aspect. But Fortnite for me is kind of a guilty pleasure. I play it, but I kind of know, so I can't say much.
If y'all haven't noticed, we have played Fortnite together before. So I know you wanted to talk about more games.
Yeah, I mean, so this is more of a minor one, but it definitely holds up under the social aspect, I believe. A game I played a lot back in the day, probably way too much, was a Pokemon Go.
Bro, you're seeing nerd side.
Man. I know. So Pokemon Go for me, it encouraged me to not only. It was almost like I was on a Pokemon adventure with my friends. We got to. I'm serious. We got to go out and catch Pokemon, and it was so much fun to go walk around our own neighborhood and set up our own gym and name our Pokemon and really have this community. There was this one time where we just went through an entire neighborhood and talked to other people who were also walking around looking for Pokemon. It was a lot of fun, and I love it helped me explore outside, but also be immersed in something that I can be connected with everyone around me. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Every time I hear Pokemon Go, I think of that girl who actually what did she throw herself off a cliff or something? No. Trying to catch a Pokemon.
I think, but I think she found some sort of criminal stuff when that happened too. So it was there's a lot of drama behind it.
Bro, I don't even know what this is about. But I think another, to just go on to back on track, I think another thing that social factors highlight is competition, and achievement levels, which is another really big part of that. I think that in social factors, you can definitely see games fueling activity through competitive elements. So think like those leaderboards, those are competitive. Those multiplayer modes, those battle royales, those are competitive. Like the psychology behind that is insane. It's a, dark side of the psyche. You intentionally want to appeal to a player's inner ego. You're going to try to, people want desire and competition and achievement. And, this is tapping into that psychological achievement of motivation 100%. You want to excel and outperform others in competitive environments. That's natural. Like people do that academically, professionally. And these games are just offering opportunities for players to test their skills against others just to receive that recognition. And then that will definitely keep motivating players to keep playing and improving.
Yeah, I mean, another key element used in this is like
switching modes. You're jumping on.
For all the other story-based gamers is, the narrative engagement. This is, for those who don't, to break it down for y'all, this is when compelling narratives and story techniques, which I really enjoy, is used to not only captivate your attention, but immerse you into the world of the game itself. Designers use a lot of different branching storylines, but a huge one is memorable characters and, plot twists to create an emotional connection, not only with the player, but to keep that person invested in what the game's going to do, like how is it going to end. It's almost like playing a movie, but you're in it and you get to experience it.
Yes, me and Nikita are very two different types of gamers. Like I am more of the spaced out ADHD gamer, just drop me down, I'm ready to shoot something up. That's kind of the type. Not to go lie to y'all, that's the type. Or it's one a complete 180, put me in a Minecraft house, baking my cake and stuff. I do one of the two. And then Akita is more I want that deep narrative. What is the fifth backstory of the great grandfather of this character?
I'm the character I'm the player who in Skyrim would sit down and read every single book page just to know what was going on in the world.
Ain't no way, my boy. Ain't no way. My ADHD won't let me do it. However, I have mad respect for it. But there's only one game that actually was able to captivate my attention as a narrative game, and we both actually were this is the game we want to talk about for narrative engagement, and the psychology behind that. Kita, you want to say what it is?
It is The Last of Us, and I'll explain the reasons why this one was the first to come to mind for the both of us. Other than I, just finished replaying through it and kind of rewatching the series to kind of get a fresh perspective. But number one, I would say the first reason is it really sets up highly developed characters from the get-go.
Yeah.
The game features, for those who haven't played it, two main characters, Joel and Ellie, who have super complex personalities and motivations behind them, and the character arcs are expertly crafted. Joel is a handsome guy, if you haven't watched the show, when he's played by the legendary who is awesome in pretty much every way, but Joel is a hardened survivor, and Ellie is a young girl immune to the infection that's plaguing the entire world, that the infection killing everyone literally around them. And because it is the apocalypse, everyone eventually, form an unlikely but honest, wholesome relationship as they journey through to make it across the United States. It really helps me become more deeply invested in their struggles and growth. But that kind of leads into the aspect of world building. The game's most pandemic, it's a post-pandemic world in a meticulously realized with detailed environments, atmospheric storytelling, and huge super complex thought out bosses, and a huge richness, which you already know I enjoy. But
ain't no way, because the clickers, they are terrifying. You see the posters, you see the people who are just laying there dead. You see the absolutely not. I would say that part of I also think that there's such a compelling storyline.
Yeah.
I think the plot is driven by certain character moments. I don't want to spoil anything. I gotta keep my spoilers to myself. I know I'm gonna spoil everything. No, I'm just kidding. Um, proceeds to tell them everything about the. Okay. Anyway, I think that honestly, all seriousness, one of the game's strengths, I would say, ultimate strength, lies in its ability to evoke powerful emotions in its players. Absolutely gut-wrenching moments. I'm so passionate about the last week. It's like, how are you gonna do us like that?
Yeah.
How there's instances of connection and hope ripped away from. I'm so serious. There's such a huge emotional roller coaster that I don't blame you if you get mad or upset at the writers. The players are drawn into these struggles and the dilemmas, and like, you like somebody, don't like them too much. You don't know if they're gonna make it, but they gonna make you want to make it so bad.
No, like literally the last chapter of the game is
No.
It's genuinely heartbreaking.
No, absolutely. It's depressed. Like, if you're just not feeling like you're depressed enough in life. I mean, in this economy, I don't know how you feel it that way. But if you're feeling like you just need something to send you over the edge, I got a game for you.
Yeah, it's the last. It's another thing that game developers do or like to provide, is feedback while you're in the game and progress tracking. This is in The Last of Us. You tend a lot of the game to kind of get from story beat to story beat. There's a lot of different goals you have to do for characters to kind of gain their trust and stuff. The game developers themselves, they tend to put a lot of like clear, frequent feedbacks on like player actions, like kind of that affects the story or progresses players to help them get through a certain level that's really hard, or understand how they're playing the game or their goals within the game itself. Progressing and tracking system itself also branches into achievement notifications or visual indicators or progress the players to keep them motivated for what's next or what's to come. I always love it as a PlayStation player, get that bling and I get the little trophy on the
Yes, 100%.
I kill like 1,000 clickers or stuff.
Well, that like the feedback and the progress tracking is amazing. I think the game that I pulled up was Super Mario Odyssey, like for our classic, Nintendo players. This it allows you to see your visual feedback of progression through level design.
Oh yeah.
Those collectibles that you're able to get, and then you get power-ups, and then you're constantly rewarded. Like, you're bombarded even with like coins and moons and other items for completing challenges, and you explore the game world, and then there's like such a huge progress tracking system within the game that you can see your completion percentage of this game and then just further track your achievements.
Yeah, a lot of like the original Nintendo games itself, it lets you save your progress or remembers where you left off, in case of a boss is too hard. Like, there's plenty of times I rage quit because I lost to Bowser for the 50th time because I can't make that one stupid jump over a moon. But another cool level part of that is like in Mario Odyssey, like you were saying, like the levels themselves go from progressively sunny to slightly darker as you get closer to the end of the game. Like, the credits are kind of creeping up on you. Yeah. That's something I always enjoyed about Mario Odyssey, or just the Mario game in general, that it takes you through this journey, but it tells it through the game you're playing.
Well, y'all, we are so lucky to have you here, and we might have had a little bit too much fun talking about the psychology behind game design. But before we go, I have something fun to do, just in case we haven't entertained you up to this point. I'm just playing. But hopefully we have. We're going to rank the psychological development techniques from least to most important to us as two different types of gamers and see how they compare. So again, to our audience, our options are player motivation and rewards, social features, narrative engagement, and feedback and progress training. I'm about to die, apparently. Okay, so how I would rank mine, I wrote down least important to me would probably be feedback and progress training. It's nice to have, but I don't need to know like my specific percentage. I'll figure out how far I am. Like, when the game ends, Then I would say narrative engagement. I'm able to kind of play games with little to no lore, mostly because I'm playing multiplayer games all the time. as someone, I mean, seriously, as a social gamer, I don't play a lot of games with lore. When I do, like, they're more for the fun of it. And then I would say social features would be my second to top one. And then my top one would be player motivation. Like, if I am going to play a game on my own, I want to collect and get rewards, and like I want to achieve every single level. Like, I'm the type to play Candy Crush, and if I don't get 100%, I'm not moving past that level until I do.
You gotta walk around that platinum medal,
Yeah, I need that. All 3, bro. I need all 3 stars. I'm not moving. I'm not taking no 2. I'm not taking not 1 L. I'll keep taking L over and over again, but I won't leave it there to haunt me. Okay, what are your
I mean, for me, like, progress tracking, okay, I'm a Dark Souls player too, so like sometimes I just get lost and I just need to know where I'm at, but it's one of those things that's kind of always in the back of my mind. But a second one is like you said, is social factors. I really like being able to like see what other players dreaded before me, or like be able to like learn from other players, or like experience it with them. There's so much more to be had when you have someone next to you going through the same game. But for me, you could probably guess my favorite one is the narrative elements. I love the story. I love like the lore. I'm a history major. I love taking the time to appreciate the steps it took to tell out the panoramic story, but
it's actually you, Answer.
Yeah, but finally, I'd agree with you as well. There's something to be said at the end of an Overwatch game, and you get that platinum, play of the game, and it rewards the huge amount of XP and just currency you get at the end of Fortnite or something like that. Like, I like being able to look back and see. Oh yeah, I like being able to look back and see, like, what, I did that. I was able to get through that little really hard cusp and get through it on my own skill. Like, that's something that's a huge big for me.
100%. Well, again, I just want to thank you guys so much for listening to my final podcast with Akira.
Hey.
I'm so honored to have you guys here for my last podcast in the class, and we both hope that you enjoyed nerding out with us.
Have a wonderful day,
and game on!